Hello, Rezza, all the way from the Philippines, Coach Rezza. You're doing amazing things over there, darling. I really love watching what you're doing because you're getting out there, you're getting in it, and you're doing such incredible stuff. But I know it wasn't always like that for you. I know that you had zero confidence. So tell me a little bit about you, because you're a coach. I know you're a coach, and I know that you're trained in NLP. But tell me about a little bit about your story and where you've come from and what's your journey been.
Wow, the journey. I actually started off when it comes to helping people. I have been doing that ever since university days. Back in university, I was a peer counselor, and then I became a Christian counselor for about 16 years. So helping other people has always been my thing. But before, it was as a volunteer until I decided that I could finally go professional 10 years ago, 2011. So the first thing that I experienced was NLP coaching. So NLP coaching made me realize, hey, I can start helping people and get paid for it. so that started it. But one of the challenges I faced was seeing consistent results or being even confident in my own results. So when I say results, it's not just because I'm seeing the breakthroughs in my clients, yes, but I felt that the breakthroughs could be better, or they weren't as good enough, or they were not as good enough for my standards. And I also felt with the kind of business model that I was running back then, I felt it wasn't sustainable, nor was it able to provide me an income that I really needed if I wanted to go full time as a coach. The math did not make sense. So here I was saying I'm a coach, but I'm a management consultant. So I'm a strategist. I'm a marketing expert, right? So that's how I would position myself. So it's really that I'm a consultant, trainer, speaker, and a coach. so my being a coach, I wouldn't really announce it to the world. I'll just mention it to a friend. So when they ask, what is it that you're doing? That it's always like a by the way, because I never felt the full confidence of really saying I'm a coach and I'm damn good at it. I couldn't.
I know exactly how you feel because that's what I used to do as well. You know, I didn't believe in what I did and that I could actually help someone. And I didn't want to be in that position where they gave me money to help them and not be able to help them. So I would do the same thing.
I know, right?
But what do you do?
And that was also a struggle. Now that you mentioned it, even to charge them a fee, I would feel my energy buckle down when I quote my rate. And back 10 years ago, my rate was like pretty basic, pretty entry level. And I didn't feel confident charging them because the outcome I couldn't even guarantee. It's like, yes, I can help you, but if you're going to pay me money and I'm going to assure you that your breakthrough is going to be pam, 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 I really couldn't come into that space. Yeah, that's where I was.
So how long did you do that? Be a coach behind your management?
Oh, goodness. I 2011 all the way to 2018. 2018.
Wow.
That's a long time. My God, that's a long time of hiding or being apologetic for being a coach.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wasted
And what
years.
was that like having that's well, yeah, it is. But what was that like for you having that struggle for because that's a good 7 years you were doing that, doing something because I'm sure you
Yeah.
did like doing your management stuff, but it wasn't what you were called to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so exactly right. So being a management consultant, being a marketing strategist for me was just a skill, but it wasn't a passion. It was a very strong capability, but my heart was really somewhere else. So if I would describe it, how I was back then, it felt like, oh, it felt my wings were clipped. That was the
Yeah.
feeling. It felt like either my wings were clipped or I was in a cage. So it's
Yeah.
my wings are clipped. I'm doing something half-heartedly, and it's like I want to fly, but I didn't know how to fly. I
Yeah.
wanted to fly, but I didn't know how to fly. There you go.
Exactly. Exactly. And that in itself then causes this massive ripple effect in everything else that we do, and how you
Yeah,
feel, and you know, your quality of life and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and
So
the
what was it that
fulfillment wasn't there. The fulfillment wasn't complete. It wasn't whole.
yeah.
Everything was half-assed, if I would say half-assed. So half clipped, half flying, half not. Everything was like half-half. And I knew that
Yeah.
wasn't the way to live.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So what turned it around for you? What made you look for something else? Because NLP is pretty good and it does get some results, but as you were
Yes,
saying, it
it
wasn't the
does.
results that you wanted for your
Mhm.
clients. So what made you then, after, you know, 7 years, to turn things around and look for something else?
Okay, this is going to be funny, Helen. I wasn't actually sure what I was looking for. All I knew was that I needed to do something different because it
Yeah.
wasn't working for me. So, what to look for, I wasn't sure until someone tagged me on Facebook. And I was like,
And do
so
you know
this
what? It's
someone,
not
yeah,
that funny, Reza.
why, why,
It's not
why?
that funny that you said that, because it's like you just know. And that was me. There's got to be an easier way. I don't know what it is, but I know there's got to be an easier way.
Yes,
And this
yes.
whole providence, attraction things and stuff comes into your life. So you had
Uh-huh.
somebody, you knew there was something. You were looking for something. You knew what it was that you wanted, but you didn't know exactly what it was. And that's exactly how it was for me as well. I just knew there had to be an easier way, because I was sick of banging my
Yeah.
head against the wall doing the same thing over and over. So
Yeah.
you had this person tag you in something in Facebook. So what was that?
Okay, so this woman who tagged me, I really wasn't close to her. I really didn't know her, but she was someone I had helped in Singapore when she was like down on the floor. She couldn't get up. She had to perform on stage and she couldn't. So because of what I did to her, I guess that's why I created a very strong impact on her. And when she tagged me, I was like, what's this? And then I clicked. And then I saw the website. And then I saw Maz. And I'm like, OMG. I got goosebumps because Helen, I don't know if you know this story of mine. While I was listening to Maz, I had a flashback, throwback memory of a vision I had in 2010. In 2010, I was attending a seminar. I was doing a meditation process under the heat of the sun at like 7 in the morning. I had a vision that I was standing on stage with an auditorium filled with women, and they were just giving me a standing ovation. And I was just standing on stage with my arms outstretched. Back in 2010, I was like, when the meditation was done, I'm like, what was that? Like, it didn't make sense because I had a desk job as a marketing person. So why would I be standing on stage in front of women? So fast forward to this was 2016 when I got tagged. I was listening to Maz and then goosebumps. And then boom, 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 the vision came back. And that's when I felt it in my heart. oh my God, this is it. Okay, I feel like crying. This is it. Yeah, because I had so many
Yeah.
question marks, right? I didn't know where to go, what to do. So and then after watching that video, I couldn't get it out of my head. I couldn't get it out of my head. I got on a call with Maz. She interviewed me a bit, and then she felt I was a fit, but I didn't have the funds. I didn't have the funds for the course back then. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I've never shelled out that big a chunk of money. So I was so excited, but I got scared with the amount that I had to pay. That was the initial
Yeah.
fear there. Am I oversharing? Do you have another question for me?
No, keep going. I love your story.
Yeah, so 2016, I was telling myself I'm going to be in the February 2017 batch. I'm going to make that a goal. So I really worked my butt off to get my credit card debts cleared up so that I could swipe again and pay for the course fee, my airline ticket, my hotel. Because remember, I'm flying from the Philippines, so there is much more expenses versus just the course fee.
Yeah.
But then January, so it was 2017 January, we found out my father had cancer. And it was stage 4 cancer. But at that time, well, because I'm the eldest in the Philippines, it's a thing. If you're like the eldest and you're female, a lot of the responsibilities dumped on my shoulders. So that's my
Yeah.
situation. So all the funds that I had went to helping my family first. So I'm like, oh my God, am I ever going to make this happen for me? Because it's my dad, right? It's my dad. I gotta put him first. But to cut a long story short, he
Yeah.
passed away in May. So January, diagnosed May, he passed away. And again, my credit card was maxed out because of the hospital bills and the medicines. But you know what happened? Something happened all of a sudden. We had a windfall of money come in through my mom, and she was able to pay back all the advances I made on my credit card in May. So it's like, oh my God, I have money again. I mean, my credit card's cleared up again. So that's not exactly money, right? So I
Yeah.
just went and enrolled. I went and enrolled, and I booked my I booked my plane tickets. Even like applying for the visa was like a photo finish for me. And you know how photo finishes are for visas for me, right? You saw that in 2018.
I remember that. It came down to the wire, wasn't it? We weren't sure if you were going to get here because of your
Yeah,
visa. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Remember? Yeah, that during the retreat, I got my visa when I was already boarding the plane, or I was on the plane. I was that gutsy to get to Australia. But anyway, let's go back first to the course. So 3 weeks after my father passed away, I found myself in Brisbane. And I found myself, that was surreal. It was surreal. I'm like, I was staring out my hotel room. I took a photo and I said, Dad, thank you for making this possible. I knew my dad was there because even if I couldn't work those 5 months. I was taking care of him. I had to stop working. So there was a lot of things I sacrificed for my dad. I sacrificed for myself, but it still happened. I still found myself in Brisbane to attend the course.
Yeah. Can't stop a determined woman when she knows she's on the right path, hey?
I know, right? I know because my heart really knew. It was like either I do it now or I do it too late. I don't know why I had that feeling. It had to be that time.
Yeah.
So there. And then I finished
Well, it
it.
had
So
already
July.
been almost 7. Yeah, it'd almost
Yeah,
been almost 7
right.
years. So,
Exactly. Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
already waited long enough, really.
Exactly. So it's like I'm not getting any younger. So so this is it. So that was the determination and feeling that I had at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You glad you did it?
yes, yes. And okay, so this is like the challenge I had. So when I went through the course, I really had this strong feeling, right, that this is it, this is it. But honestly, I couldn't immediately jump and embrace it as a full-time thing. Well, because Maz spoke to me. She spoke to me like, Reza, don't resign yet. Stick to your consultancy first. Do what you need to do. Finish what you need to finish. And I was like, in my
Yeah.
mind, but. I was like, but. She goes, don't resign yet. You gotta establish yourself first. I like, okay, okay. At that time, I didn't make sense. But as the months progress, I'm like, yes, there's so many things I still need to learn. Yes, I have been a coach, but being a coach is very different from being a transformologist. It's like 180-degree breaking preconceptions and even limiting beliefs about helping people and running a transformative business, like being a transformologist. So there, so
Yeah.
I only got myself to fully embrace being a full-time coach and transformologist at the height of the pandemic, which was September
Yeah.
last year.
And how's it been going since then?
Amazing. It's amazing. And you know what? I couldn't. Okay, so this is the other part of me. I'm like, why did I not do this sooner? I had that. But I always believe that everything happens according to a purpose, perfect time, perfect plan. I am Catholic, I am religious and spiritual. So I believe that God allowed me to wait in terms of fixing whatever I had to fix in my business, because the my other company was a data science company. Things had to happen, Helen.
Yeah.
Things had to happen for me to like wake up and say, this is it. It's time for me to finally jump in and fully embrace being a transformologist. Because you know what happened last year? So because of the pandemic, our business went down like many other businesses. And we were so like neck deep in debt. So I was like, I'm hanging on to a company that's neck deep in debt. It doesn't make sense again financially. So that was
Yeah.
my logical brain speaking. But something in me was saying, hold on, don't quit just for the sake of quitting. There has to be a higher purpose for leaving. To cut a long story short, a US investor came in, and we were supposed to we were going to open a US office. So it's no longer a Philippine company, but a US Philippine company. Ironically, that was the same time my heart felt it was okay to leave.
Yeah.
It's like I was done with the business of transforming companies. Now I will be in the business of transforming women. So there.
Beautiful. Yeah, and this is the thing though, you've got that freedom and flexibility because everyone does it their own way. We've got women who come in who already have a personal development business, and then it's just so easy. They just contact all their clients and say, right, you don't want to be stuck anymore. Here you go. This is the new thing. That's what we're doing. And then we've got people who've never had a business before who need that little bit of extra time to make the adjustment because it's a different mindset going from employee to employer.
Oh
And,
yeah.
you've got everything between. But, it's you can do it at your own pace, though, and you can do it
Yep.
how you want to because we're not going anywhere. And
Yeah.
you guys know that you can always reach out and ask for help whenever you need it. It doesn't matter how long you've been in there doing it or whatever, you know? We're there to
True,
help you
true,
when you need it.
true. True.
Mm.
I just want to add to what you said. The it's work, but it's not nose to the grindstone kind of work anymore. It's not.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm saying this is fulfill. What I'm doing now is real fulfillment, real happiness, real peace, and I can still get to rest and earn at the same time and be happy and do something else, discover other hobbies. So it's like, so when my friends, so just recently, I had a reunion with my friends. We went out of town for a wedding, and they were just looking at me and they go, Reza, you are already living a self-actualized life. I go, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I could see my friends because they have just started their business and it's like all traditional businesses. Okay, Google suddenly responded. So anyway, and they're looking at me and they go, yes, Google. Okay, wait. Sorry about that.
We're not talking to you, Google.
Yeah. So where was I? So they were like,
Talking about your friends.
yes. And they were like, because they thought that starting a traditional business was the way to go, was the way to fulfillment. I go, yes, I've been there and I've done that. The traditional model no longer works for me because what I'm doing now is my ikigai. Ikigai, right? It's like passion, purpose. Oh God, I forgot the four elements, but I get paid for what I love. I'm I know I'm
Yeah.
really good at what I do. I know that I'm fulfilling my not just my life purpose, but my soul purpose. And I feel fulfilled every step of the way. So it's like really, Helen, being a transformologist is my ikigai. And I'm so thankful I found you guys.
Oh, we're glad you did too.
Thank you.
So tell
Thank you.
me, have you been on a stage in front of women, like in your vision?
A lot. A lot, both online and offline. So the first time I was on stage was 2018. Was 2018, and they asked me to share my story. And I was like, I was on the mic and I was standing there and I go, in 2010 I had a vision. I was standing on stage full of women and then I paused. I said, oh my God, because it was an audience of 200 women in the room. And I'm like, OMG, I am just living right now, right this exact moment. So since then, Helen,
Wow.
it's I have been more purposeful and intentional in choosing my audience as well. So that was a live event. I was on stage with 200 women. I have also had smaller events with like 50 women in the room, 30 women in the room. And online, like last July, I was asked to speak in a women's conference, and there were like 2,000 enrollees in the class, not the class, in the conference, of which, because it's
Yeah.
online, so about 800, 900 women watched my talk in particular. And then recently another, so it's just been like that. And I used to, that was another thing, Helen. I used to make it such a big deal that it scared me. That, oh my gosh, I'm going to be talking to a huge number of women. It used to be such a freaking big deal that it scared my pants off. But now I just realized there's nothing to be afraid of because it's just sharing a message that they need to hear. Right? So, no judgments, no nothing. No nothing. And now, Helen, I don't know if you're aware of this. I've had this weekly Facebook Live that I've been doing since the start of the pandemic, probably like May 2020. So every Tuesday I've been doing it. So, the audience size would be respectable, probably like The highest back then was 10,000 views, 7,000 views. Just
Pretty
this
good.
year, yeah, it's actually good. But just this year, I was praying. I was like, God, I want to reach out to more people, but I don't know how. I don't know how. But I'm okay. I'm no longer hiding because ever since I creatrix the confidence issues that I had, I've already like come out of not the closet, come out of hiding. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
not ashamed anymore. I'm not ashamed anymore to declare what I do, how I can help women, etc. And you know what? This year, just recently, about a couple of months ago, my weekly show, I got a notification that, okay, we just got approval that we will be cross-posted in a network called GMA. So GMA is a local network in the Philippines, but with a global audience. And I like, what? So it's the overseas foreign workers market, etc., etc. And I checked their page. I'm like, 7 million followers. And we're also going to be on GMA Public Affairs. I checked it, 4 million followers. I'm like, okay, am I prepared for this? Am I prepared for this? So to be honest, in the first episode, I was so flustered because I was seeing the views going up. 200, 300, 400, 500 live views, and I was panicking because I had to speak in Filipino because it was like global Filipino audience. But you know what? So there's this amazing thing about Creatrix. I don't know if the other girls can relate with me. Creatrix just opens up this natural wisdom, and it gives me that natural feeling that I got this. Like, uh, challenge with that. Yeah, I got this. Without faking it. It's the natural feeling that I got this without faking it. That's it. That's because before I'd say I got this, and then another voice in my head would say, yeah, right. Or the inner voice would
Mm.
say, you got this, yeah, BS, right? But now
Yeah.
when I say I got this, I really mean it, and I can feel it in my bones. So now every week I have my
And
show, and I'm so chill about it. I'm like, okay, 15,000 views, 20,000 views. Okay. I like, thank you.
that's
Chill.
normal.
Yan
That's
nila.
so fantastic, Reza.
So there,
Isn't
so
it amazing what you can
yeah,
do when you don't have the limitations and you don't have that little voice in the back of your head contradicting
totally,
what you want to do? You know, it just everything
totally,
just opens up. That's
totally.
fantastic. I'm so excited for you. You've
Thank
turned
you,
into
thank
this
you.
amazing manifester now because you know that's the whole whenever the whole law of attraction thing is like we've got to you, you've got to see it and you've got to feel it and you've got to believe it. But if you've got this
Mm,
little devil on your shoulder saying, you can't bring
yeah,
that thing to you. It gets blocked, you know, at every
yeah,
time. But when you
yeah.
don't have that, you just go, "Phew," it's just right.
Sure.
Bring it. Bring it
I
to me.
know,
That's so cool.
I know, and
I didn't
now that
realize I
you've
was
said
talking to
that,
an international superstar.
you know what? Now that you've met, I like it that you're triggering these. Oh yeah, you're right. That's right. Thoughts. The manifesting part, Helen, has also been amazing. It's just like I think it, and then it happens. Because you're right, the blocks are no longer there. The drama isn't
Mm.
there anymore. It's just like whatever I feel is right, my heart feels it's right. And then after a few days or a few weeks, suddenly the opportunity's there. Suddenly the clients are there. Helen, I will tell you
Yeah.
this. I actually don't market my services as aggressively as I thought I needed. My clients
What do
just
you
come.
do?
I just
Yeah.
I just be myself. When I'm online, all I do is I just introduce myself and I tell them what is it that I do. what I do professionally, which I help women leaders and women professionals break through repeated issues of fear, confidence, and anger, so that it doesn't come back or no longer bothers them in the same way anymore. I just tell them that. And clients just come to me, Helen. It's like when a client finishes, I'm like, part of me is like, okay, I'm not doing anything. But the next day, another comes in for a BIC. So I'm like, amazing, amazing.
Oh, it's so cool, Rezza.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. You know, I knew a little bit of your story, but I didn't know a lot of those things. So I love talking to you because you're just out there and you're just doing it, and it's all nice and easy, and that's the way it's meant to be. When you don't have all those limitations, it can be really easy, and that's what we just want for every single woman, to make it easy. So we've got a lot of ladies in this group who are interested in becoming transformologists.
Yeah.
Do you have any parting words for them?
If you find yourself being called to be an instrument of change and transformation for women, you don't have to pack on all the other certifications and skill set. You don't have to load yourself up with too many things. Because for me, everything starts with the power of Creatrix. Once you discover the power of Creatrix, everything else looks more complicated. Everything else looks more like having to jump through several hoops. But with Creatrix, to experience it for oneself and to be able to give the service to other women as well, this is it.
It feels good, doesn't it, to be able to sit across from a woman and see her how distraught and how sad and how much she was hiding and not realizing how amazing she is, to then see her on the other side going, you know what, I'm pretty good. And have that confidence. It's just an incredible feeling, isn't it?
Truly, truly. In fact, Helen, if I may just add before we end, my last client was like that. She was already the GM of a pretty big company in Australia. Pretty big, as in a global company in Australia. She was already the general manager, and she's actually my friend. When she came to me, I never thought she would have all these issues about herself, about her past, about whatever. And she just finished like last week. And she had left already Australia last week to move to another continent. When I saw her, I listened to her, how she was declaring, and she goes, I realize I'm actually such a great mother, and I'm such a great person. I've accomplished so much despite being a solo mom or a solo parent. When I was looking at her, Helen, I really got the goosies. I was actually so touched. I was moved to tears because she was really such a different person right before my eyes. And so many women deserve this. So many women deserve Creatrix.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so good. I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, yeah. And so I'm so
Thank
happy
you
for
so
us.
much. Exactly. Well, darling, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Love talking to you. If you ever need anything, you know you can always, always, always reach out, and we are there for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Helen, for this time. And thank you for listening as well.
All right, darling, have a good weekend. I'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.